Well, a good book proposal is absolutely the first thing an author should be doing. Before he writes anything, he should think about what a proposal should look like. And it should look like a 250 word summary of exactly what he wants to communicate. If he can do that immediately in a more slogany way, sort of a nice marketing speech, that would be really good for us because we can use that ever after. But if it could just be an abstract. But basically, in 250 words, you need to tell me exactly what he wants to write and what he wants to achieve. And if you can do that convincingly, he gains a lot. Then the second thing he needs to do for me is he needs to give me a proposed title and a subtitle, absolutely essential. And the closest he can come to a really good title at that time, human as we all are, makes a big difference for me in deciding whether I want to take something or not. And then thirdly, I want a line-by-line chapter headings. I want all the chapter headings and then every chapter maybe a 1 or 2 line summary of what the book is about, what the chapter is about. And if he's got lots of sub-chapters, sub-items, then subdivide it and do the same. But, we're not capable of reading much more than 2 pages, so just keep it nice and tight. Then, thirdly, you need to tell me how many words you're going to commit yourself to. And you better be careful at this stage because we can be pretty snooty when it comes to word count. We hold authors to it. And so word count needs to be pretty exact. We, in our publishing house, we allow publishers to go over by 10%, and we edit it down then. So, we actually do the cutting. He or she, in some cases, well, I've been to a publisher just the other day who sent it back with 5,000 words over, and the author got it back. So that was a bit of an amazing. But give us a word count. Then, next, what I want is the unique selling point of the book. I want to know from the author what's out there, and then I need to know from the author why on earth we need to read his book. He needs to give me a hang of a good reason why it is that we want to read his book. And that means that I need to hear something of the heart and soul of what he's dreaming of. I want to hear, I want to know what is in his heart. I want to know what he gets excited about. So it's a kind of heart and soul question as well. Just really figuring out what is it that sets this book apart from everything else that's out there. And you either say something brand new, or you say something in a way that's just not been done before, an old thing in a way that's not done before, and that is equally valid. So it doesn't matter how you do it, but I want to know, and a marketing man wants to know what the unique selling point is of this book, so that he needs a hook that he can use to hook it into the markets in which he wants to sell it. Then I want to know about the author. I want to know what the author is all about. So I want to know, I want to have a CV. I prefer a photo these days. In the old days I could read the handwriting and I could work out what kind of author I had in hand. But now it's really nice to have a photo. So the photo I can sort of see what is needed. And it's important that the CV concentrates on all the publications. And a bit of extra writing on what has been written is actually very helpful for us because it gives us an idea of the direction that he or she has been thinking in and what this, how this manuscript fit into his complete oeuvre. So that's important for us. And then lastly, I should just say, and it's always a bit embarrassing, but it stresses the need for a book proposal, and that is that normally in about 5 minutes we can make up our minds. And that's always hard to say. People have been struggling for hours on end or years on end, and then in 5 minutes we put on the tap and put on cold water. So, or warm water for that matter. But it's really important that they realize that it's that fast. So you need to get every word right. And the more words there are, the less likely we read it. Now there's one other thing that I need, and that is a chapter. I just want to know whether you can write. And I want to know at what level you are writing. And so I want to know what style of writing you have. And so one sample chapter, and try not to make it chapter 1. So try and make it chapter 3, and it's a good exercise to write chapter 3 first before you write chapter 1. And write chapter 3, and that chapter will give us an idea as to whether you can write and what editorial input you're going to need as the process goes. So it's an exciting project, but it's quite a demanding one. So that is what it takes, and that's where you always start. Helps the author to get all his duckies in a row. He knows exactly what he needs to address and what he needs to write. He can start filling in the gaps. So instead of having an empty canvas to write on, he now has got, he's got the whole thing worked out basically. And the publisher knows exactly what he's going to get. And for the publisher, that is essential. And on the basis of a good proposal, we would already commit ourselves to a contract. And so, the author goes under contract, and then you need to please know, every author needs to realize that before you sign the contract, everything is negotiable. When you sign the contract, everything is obligation, including the deadline that you give for finishing your manuscript. So make sure that you can fulfill the promise you are making as to the date by which you can finish. Authors that tell me, oh, I think I can finish this by the end of July, but maybe September. I said, no. So I'll put the date in 31st of December. No, he says, I can do it. I said, you just promised the 31st of December. Everybody will love you if you do it by September. Everybody will hate you if you do it 3 months late. So it is that kind of precaution. It's our expectations, and fulfilling our expectations really essential. As indeed we do his expectations or her expectations.